10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Good morning, everybody. I'm not sure about you. I've woken up today feeling a little bit chipper, a little bit happy after the announcement last night from David Ornstein about Erik Ten Hag agreeing that verbal, in principle, deal with Manchester United. I'm going to bring you all the updates that happened since then. We're going to be speaking about Fabrizio Romano, his latest comments. We're going to be speaking about Jason Burt from the Telegraph, his latest insight and info on the announcement. When is that going to happen? I've used the word imminent. I think it's pretty imminent. Maybe extending imminent to a few more days than right here, but that's because I'm excited about it, and you're excited about it as well. How are you all doing? I'm sure there's going to be plenty of you in the comments today because this is a day we've been waiting for. It's a day that I've genuinely. I spoke about this last night when we were going through the announcement stream. I was like, it's a day I genuinely didn't think would come, but it's a day that's here. We haven't got the official announcement yet. We haven't got Erik Ten Hag saying how excited he is to join the club XYZ. That's still to come. There's still more excitement to come. But today we're going to be speaking about the final details of that contract, the final details of that agreement. We're going to be speaking about his coaching staff. It's very important his coaching staff come in and the right people come in with him. Who's that going to be? We'll run through that. We're also going to be speaking about plenty of stuff, actually, just all Erik Ten Hag related. Who's down here in the comments? Stephen, I can see you down there. Stefan, I can see you there as well. Salim, Anuj, Kunal, and Anthony. Who else we got down here from the member gang? Rejo, Joda, Jason McCarthy, Nick, Craig, Rebecca, Gungshi. Hey, look, there's plenty of you down here in the comments. Nice to see you all here. And look, I've got a big smile on my face. And yeah, as I said, I'm used to my club making indecision, and I'm used to my club making the wrong decisions and being stifled by indecision. We seem to have, I don't know. Look. This isn't Manchester United winning the Premier League. This isn't Manchester United winning the Champions League. But it's just good to see my club making what I would consider the right decisions. So I'm going to run through the latest on Ten Hag, as I said, from Fabrizio, from Simon Stone from the BBC, and from Jason Burt from the Telegraph. That's the three people I'm going to be speaking about this morning. But look, as always, you get involved in the comments. I'll try and interact as much as I can throughout the entire stream. Let's get straight into the news and let's waste absolutely no time, right? Let's go see what Fabrizio's saying. Fabrizio is saying this. This is in the last half an hour, 45 minutes. He said this. Manchester United are working to prepare the contract and paperwork this week in order to announce Erik Ten Hag and the appointment as soon as possible. Sources close to the manager consider it a matter of time. Final details of coaching staff and agreement with Ajax are needed. So Fabrizio's come in there using the words as soon as possible. Those four words aren't as exciting as the three words here we go. We all know that. That's something that a lot of United fans are still waiting for. But man, like it's done. I know it's not done. All right. I'm not here going done deal like Manchester United have appointed Erik Ten Hag, because we haven't appointed Erik Ten Hag yet. He's still Ajax's manager. He will be Ajax's manager. Tell you what, we're all going to be excited to watch that game between PSV and Ajax on Sunday night, aren't we? Really, I'm going to be excited to watch that. Last night in the Champions League, incredible football last night in the Champions League, you have to admit. Chelsea, unlucky. Real Madrid, Benzema, he came through at the end. Bayern Munich being knocked out by Villarreal. It's just a shame we're nowhere near the Champions League and nowhere near getting there. But maybe we will be with Erik Ten Hag when he comes in. But Fabrizio there saying that Manchester United are working to announce his appointment as soon as possible. That's exciting news. Who we got down here? Sar, good to see you there from Dubai, my friend. How you doing? Got Danny Lyon watching, saying, good morning, Sam. How are you doing? Hopefully this is a new turning point for the club. You're a happy man. I am a happy man. United forever. You're saying, I would like it for Van Persie to be Ten Hag's number 2. Don't worry about that. We're going to be speaking about, I'm going to run through all the latest in terms of the news from the Telegraph, BBC, and Fabrizio. As I said, the sources that I believe that we can trust. And then we're going to move on to a conversation about his coaching staff, because that's the next big thing, right? Once we've got Erik Ten Hag and the agreement is done, who's going to be working with him? Because one man can make a change, but he can't make the difference that we need. Erik Ten Hag has to have the right support network around him. So we'll be speaking about that next. But Fabrizio, as I said there, he said that Manchester United are working on that announcement as soon as possible. Let's now head over to see what Jason Burt is saying at the Telegraph. He's saying Manchester United have agreed a 3 year contract for him to become our new manager. An announcement is expected within the next week, with the deal now 99% completed. Let's scroll down and read through this. Manchester United have agreed a 3-year deal for Erik Ten Hag to become the next manager, with the move now 99% completed. An announcement is planned next week, following the Dutch Cup final on Sunday. The deal will have the option weighted in United's favour for a 4th year. All that appears missing is the final signatures, but they are believed to be a formality. Sources close to negotiations, blah, blah, blah. Everything is now agreed. Let me scroll down here, and there's a bit more information down here. Ten Hag's personal terms were quickly agreed last week, and although there have been further negotiations over the framework under which he will work at the club. Now, that's, as I said, that's why I was excited last night when I said about the only thing that was going to stop Erik Ten Hag becoming Manchester United's manager was whether United didn't agree those sorts of terms and demands. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about Erik Ten Hag becoming the best paid manager in the Premier League and how much money is he going to have to spend in the window. That's not what his terms were. His terms were more about the structure of the working environment. So for United to agree that was the clincher, and that's why I got excited last night. Sigmund, nice to see you down there joining as a member, my friend. Where are you watching from? I'll try and give you a shout out. Alex King, good morning to you as well. Good morning to all the members and all the subs and just everybody. Goblin saying, good morning, Sam. Always good watching and listening to you. Thank you very much, mate. Hey, look, as I said, when I spoke about Ten Hag and Rangnick back in November, I genuinely thought it was just a pipe dream. I was like, United aren't going to do that. Lo and behold, look at what's happened here. Look at what's happened here. Peter, you're asking in the comments here, why is it not 5 years for Erik Ten Hag? Now, I think that's a bit of a fair question, especially considering we gave David Moyes a 6-year contract. The idea that Erik Ten Hag's only getting 3 might concern some United fans. But it's a 4-year deal. I'm fine with that. 4-year, 5-year, I don't think it makes too much of a difference by that. As long as he's here for a 3 to 5 year period, I mean, he'll be here for longer. We want him here for longer. And you're down here saying the 3-year contract smacks of potential damage limitation. I mean, you can talk about that if you want a smaller payoff if it doesn't work, but that's probably the right fucking thing to do. We shouldn't have given David Moyes a 6-year contract. Idiots. Shouldn't have given Mourinho. How long did Mourinho get? 4-year contract? I think he did. It doesn't concern me. I know that Ten Hag is going to be doing enough to earn a contract extension. That doesn't worry me whatsoever. And I know you can try and pick holes here if you want to, but in my personal opinion, I won't. Tang, nice to see you down there joining us as a member. Remy Manic, by the way, I love it. Still haven't watched the end of Mr. Robot. I still need to watch the end of that. Nick, you're saying they can always extend if it's going well. They can't reduce it if it goes wrong. No problem with that. In my opinion, it's probably a smarter thing, right? It's a smarter thing for Manchester United to be doing that. I've got no issue with that whatsoever. And as Nick said there, we can extend it if we want to, and I think we will extend it. I hope we'll extend it. Let's see what else Jason Burt is saying. Contrary to suggestions, Ten Hag has never demanded full control on transfers, and he is comfortable working with a director of football. Now, I know so much has been said about John Murtough, all right? So much has been assumed about John Murtough. But if we're talking pure facts and things that have happened, under John Murtough, we've made, in my opinion, the 2 smartest decisions that this football club has made since Fergie retired. And that's bringing Ralf Rangnick in on a short-term basis, and that's hiring Erik Ten Hag over Maurizio Pochettino. So if we're looking at things that we know he's done and he's been involved with, 2 extremely good decisions for the football club. Now, John Murtough is a man that's learning on the job, an internal appointment brought into the football director role, having had no outside experience of that. That's why the idea of Ralf Rangnick coming in and being this consultant, I think it should be more formalized to be a consultant thing. That's my opinion on it. I genuinely hope that Ralf Rangnick's role would get turned into a more of an official sporting director role. It doesn't really look like that's going to be the case. But this is quite an interesting thing that Jason Burt is saying here about Ralf Rangnick. Let's scroll down to this bit. Understandably, Ten Hag has also been keen for United to outline how they see the club operating once he arrives. And this is likely to include the role being offered to Ralf Rangnick, who will step down as interim manager at the end of the season. All right. So this has been, in my opinion, this has been a bit of a sticking point, a bit of a negative of what's gone on. I think Manchester United, the fact that we don't the fact that we haven't told Ralph Rangnick what his role is going to be, it's like it almost feels like we're making it up on the spot. And we probably are making it up on the spot, right? Probably are making it up on the spot. But that infuriates me. And the fact that Ten Hag, by the sounds of it, wanted clarity on that before he signed that deal, good. He needs to know that Ralph Rangnick is there to support him. Ralph, that's why I was so excited about Ralph coming in. I told you that. It wasn't about the style of football. It wasn't about that would have been an added bonus if the football we played between Rangnick coming in to now and we were still in the Champions. It would have been a bonus. But the ultimate excitement around Rangnick was about what was coming next. And now it looks like they've got Erik Ten Hag to come in too. Anti's saying, looks like they're finally listening to football people. Alf, you're saying, so far he's made the most competent choices since Gil left. And Josh, you're saying, the best three decisions have been made around Murto. First, is appointing him in the first place. Let's hope he carries on what in this. Some people, everybody, Josh, you need to read your comments before you send it in, because if it's in broken English, I can't read it out properly. Come on, people. But look, yeah, as I said, if we're just purely talking on facts of things we've seen that have happened, that includes Rangnick coming in, and that includes Ten Hag now. Both have happened under Murto's watch. Yeah. So I'm not saying there is every chance that he will still not be as good as somebody else who came in with real experience inside that role. But that's what Ralph Rangnick should be there to do and support. He should be the person that John Murto has to lean on. And therefore, the only person that Ten Hag has to lean on is Murto, because he will be confident and competent in his role. Maybe Ten Hag and Rangnick won't have too much direct conversation. Maybe it will just be Murto. But look, as I said, we're looking at the facts of things that he has done. He's made two excellent decisions in Rangnick and Ten Hag. Look, because once upon a time, let's scroll back. What is it? 3-4 weeks ago, we were looking at the Poch news that was coming out. We were looking at the Ten Hag news that was coming out, and all of us at the start were like, it's probably more likely to be Poch. It was what our gut was telling us. I told you, that idea that Manchester United just went into that cabinet and just pulled out the Poch 2016 drawer, pulled out the Poch 2019 drawer, just brushed off the folders and said, here you go, we've already got our research. There would have been a lot of internal pressure and internal support for Pochettino. There would have been a lot of external support for Pochettino. Scholes, Rio, Neville, Butt, Sheringham. The list of ex-players who supported Poch goes on. But those players have been overlooked. The support from inside that board has been overlooked. And in my opinion, that probably has to be a large part down to Murto, because he's the person leading this decision before it gets to Richard Arnold's door. So I'll be honest, man. Good. Absolutely good. I'm happy with that. I think John Murto's played a significant role in what's gone on here. Of course, we can only assume. And I am assuming here maybe he's not been that much involved. Maybe he has needed help, and maybe he's not doing his job properly. But in terms of what we actually know with the Rangnick and Ten Hag decisions, yes, please, John. All right. Oh, look, Roy, watching from Corfu. How you doing, buddy? Maybe Murto watching United People's TV. Well, if he's a smart man, he definitely won't watch me, because I don't know anything. Let's go up here and let's see what else is being said on the BBC. So we ran through Fabrizio Romano's latest. He's saying that Manchester United want to get that announcement done as soon as possible. For that, anybody who's just joining in, good morning to you. This is what Fabrizio Romano said. Said Manchester United are working to prepare the contracts in order to announce Erik Ten Hag as soon as possible. Now, of course, we know that's unlikely to be before the Dutch Cup final on Sunday. And I'll tell you what, United fans will be watching that with real excitement. And something that's quite interesting is Ajax have banned all English reporters from their press conferences. Ajax trying to do a bit of in-house management to try and keep the distractions away from their club. Completely understandable. That makes perfect sense. United are doing everything, and they will do everything here to be as respectful of Ajax as possible. We won't be announcing anything before Ajax want us to. We won't be announcing anything before speaking to Ajax first. The Ten Hag announcement, how it happens, when it happens, will all happen on Ajax's terms. And so it should. Absolutely so it should. Tang watching from Malaysia. Good morning to you. Nice to see you as part of the member family. A couple of comments in here from members. Rebecca, you're saying it will probably take at least a year or two for Ten Hag to fix the mess of a club we are. Well, Rebecca, I've got plenty of, as I said, plenty of videos lined up. The one I'm going to do today is either going to be on sort of the 5 most important things that Ten Hag's got to sort straight away at Manchester United, or I'm going to take a look at assistant managers. I'm going to take a look at Mitchell van der Gag. Also, Steve McLaren apparently is not on the cards as a possibility. René Meulenstein, I think he might be a bit busy in a moment. We've got Tim watching on Facebook. Good morning to you. Ali, you're saying, Sam, will Ten Hag try to keep Pogba? Is it too late? Pogba is not part of the conversation. Goodbye, Paul Pogba. Let's see what goes in your career. Man United are moving in a different direction. John, hope Ten Hag is given the support and time to build a team and a culture. Get Maguire out of a permanent CB role and replace him as captain. Well, you know what I feel now about Maguire. I'm past the point. I'd much rather see Maguire replaced. Just think there's too much stigma around it now. There's too much, I don't know, there's too much of a backstory. It's the exact same reason why I don't want Paul Pogba at the club anymore. Paul Pogba, no doubt, could be a man reborn under Erik Ten Hag. Maybe he could perfectly play that Ryan Gravenberch role. The Gravenberch role inside the Ajax team is the playmaker who drops deep on the edge of the back four to bring the ball out and play the transitions. It's not really what Pogba's best position is, though. We know that. He's a little bit better playing further forward. I can't be asked to have a conversation about Paul Pogba anymore. I just want him to be leaving the club and for us to say what could have been. It's just going to be another one of those ones. Let's move on to what the BBC now are saying about Erik Ten Hag. They're saying that Manchester United are on the brink of appointing Erik Ten Hag. Woohoo! Yes, please. What else is Simon Stone saying? Ajax boss Erik Ten Hag is on the brink of being confirmed as United's new manager. United keep saying there is no deal that has been done, but sources in the Netherlands suggest an agreement in principle is in place. We scroll down here and we see a couple of notes. 3-year contract. So clearly it's a 3-year contract. We've got BBC and the Telegraph both reporting the same thing now. 3-year with the option of an additional year. So effectively a 4-year deal. I felt this part was interesting. It been felt that Ten Hag's management style is more suited to the structures put in place at United, which include John Murtough as a football director. Now, I think that's kind of looking at, I think it would have suited Poch as well, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think it suits Ten Hag any more than it suits Pochettino, but it's how a football club should be run. It's the structure of a successful modern football club. They have sporting directors, they have technical directors, they have football directors, they have football people in control of footballing decisions, not corporate people in control of footballing decisions. And that power switch at Manchester United, this is the beginning of the real shift. As far as the anti-Glazer movement at Manchester United, it's strong, and I hope the protests go ahead on Saturday, and I hope they're big and they're loud, and I hope they do make a difference. This is a significant step towards that direction, towards reducing that Glazer power grip on our club. The owners are the owners, man. They're assholes, but whilst they're still making money, they won't be leaving our club. So the best that we can hope for at this particular moment in time is just for them to get their greasy mitts out of every decision. And that's the shift that we're seeing now. That's the excitement that I've got. That's the reason I was so excited about Rangnick, and the reason why now I'm very excited about Erik Ten Hag, because those two decisions they chip away at the Glazer power structure. They move Manchester United away from what was taking us downwards with the Ed Woodward style of total control, even though he doesn't know what he's doing, moving towards Rangnick and Ten Hag. That's really exciting news. Really exciting news. A super chat flying in here from Ricky. How you doing, Ricky? You're saying great news on Erik Ten Hag. Job with the fans now to give him time before they turn, as we need to give him at the very least 1 season. 1 season, Ricky? No. Ten Hag. This is where Manchester. We spoke about this before, right? And this isn't just Manchester United. Part of being a modern day football supporter with a younger generation, there is a massive sense of impatience. And it's not just with football. It's like with Netflix. It's like with music. As soon as you finish watching one series, right now, immediately, where's my next series? Where is it? Where is it? Let me watch it now. Now. There is a real, a now culture, if you want to call it that. That's why managers are rarely given that much time in football. The expectations from supporters and the expectations on them to bring success immediately has brought huge impatience into being a football supporter now. Everybody has to switch away from that mentality and not work on a season by season basis. Football works in cycles, and we've just been stuck in a huge shift and a terrible cycle that's just gone on for so long. What we now need to do as United fans is shift to like a 3-year mentality. Don't be going, right, this season, Ten Hag's got to get into the top 4. He's got to get us to the FA Cup semi-final. Some bullshit. That's not the way that this is going to work. And United fans, I've every hope that they will do that. But here on United People's TV, the way I'm not telling you how to support your football club. I suppose I am actually. I'm not trying to, but I'm just saying you've got to take your mind away from the season by season by season. Ten Hag now is tasked with such a big job. As I said this yesterday on Twitter, I was like, Gary Neville's calling Manchester United as a potential graveyard for reputations at the moment. And while I understood that, given what's happened in the last 8 years, I said that Erik Ten Hag strikes me as a man who has the ambition to come to United and take us back to where we want to be. Because whoever does that, whoever takes Man United back to where we should be at the top table, is going to go down as a modern day great manager, helping rebuild one of football's super clubs. It's a huge job, and the fact that he's taken it shows that ambition. That's why I'm excited about him. That's why I always wanted him. But yeah, I think if look, Stefan said it in the comments there, talking about Liverpool and City as a comparisons. It's just the way football works, and the grasp of power really that Liverpool and City have is so substantial that it's going to take United a good couple of years to chip away at that. In the same way that Ten Hag and Rangnick coming in is chipping away at the Glazer power grip inside Manchester United, Liverpool and City have got a power grip on the Premier League. The way that they've built their clubs, the way that they've got to this point now means they're insurmountable. And United have to slowly and progressively get to that door. Once Klopp leaves, there's going to be and that hopefully Klopp and Guardiola will both leave City and Liverpool during Ten Hag's reign, because what happens then? The door of opportunity gets opened, and if United are in the right position, what is it called? Success is when opportunity meets preparation. Preparation is now. Preparation is Erik Ten Hag coming in. Preparation is the next 3 years and what happens at United, getting rid of everything that's wrong at United. And there's so much wrong. There's so much wrong. Getting rid of everything that's wrong at United and bringing in something new. That's the preparation. The opportunity will hopefully be 2-3 years' time when Klopp leaves Liverpool, when Guardiola leaves City. That's your opportunity. So if we're prepared to do it and we're ready at that point, that's when we can step in through the door and hopefully try and put them down to where they should really be. Let's be honest, especially City, oil-ridden bastards. But that's why I'm excited. I feel like this is the long-term planning that United have needed for so long. We've just moved from short-term manager to short-term manager. Moyes, that was never going to work. Fergie made the biggest mistake Fergie made. Louis van Gaal, he came in when he was like 70-odd, something like that. He was never going to be a long-term manager at Manchester United. He was there for a couple of years, and he was there for a couple of years before he got stabbed in the back by Ed Woodward. Jose Mourinho, historically, he's not a long-term manager. He never had been before United. He hasn't been after. He got sacked after the club went and undermined him. Then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in, and we didn't know whether he was going to be good, and he was okay, but we all deep down, we felt and we knew that he wasn't going to be that long-term manager to take us back to the top table. We thought that he would help Manchester United in certain ways, and he did, and he didn't help United in other ways. I think he coddled people and put the arms around the shoulders so much that the player power has just become this, it is infectious. That's the biggest job that Ten Hag has, getting these players to understand that every player, as Gary Neville said in his podcast, every football player has an ego, right? Every football player has an ego. It's part of being an elite level sportsman, but the egos at United are just insane. Every player thinks they are so important to this club, they can do what they want. Don't have to put the effort in training. Let me see how old Louis van Gaal is now, actually. Louis van Gaal is 70. Oh, he's 70 now. So what is it? 2022. So he was there in 2014, 8 years. So he was 62. So he's 10 years older than Erik Ten Hag. Okay, he wasn't that old, but yeah, just my opinion. Erik Ten Hag is the first manager that we've got who's on the upward trajectory, whose best years are ahead of him. Can't say the same about Van Gaal. Can't say the same about Mourinho. And Solskjaer, we don't know what his best years are, but probably won't get a job of the size of Manchester United again. Erik Ten Hag, all of his best years, in my opinion, they're coming. As I said, Ten Hag won't be remembered at the end of his managerial career just for what he did at Ajax. He'll be remembered for what's coming next. And that's going to happen at Manchester United. And I'm excited about that. But I'll tell you one thing, right? One thing that's completely true. And this is coming from out in Holland. And this is the opinion and the feeling about Ten Hag to United from Holland. And this is from the Telegraph, the biggest newspaper, saying Erik Ten Hag ends up in a toxic atmosphere at Manchester United. And they're saying Ten Hag's reached a verbal agreement to be the new manager. But he's going to Old Trafford, where they have been waiting for the 21st title for 9 years. I mean, they're not wrong. Ten Hag's coming into an environment which is toxic. Might be a bit harsh, but it's not an environment which is geared for success, is it? And that's what he's working against. He's basically swimming upstream as soon as he comes in. He's walking into the wind. Ten Hag has got some momentum against him that he has to overturn at United. That's going to be part of his job, right? That's what I think. So anyway, let me head down to the comments here. I feel like I've just done a bit of a rant. I don't like doing the rant. Commercial club. Well, we all know that Van Gaal was right about that. Dave is saying, so hopefully United under Ten Hag will develop a style of play that is immediately identifiable to United. And we only sign players who slot in with our style of play and not just for shirt sales. That is absolutely going to happen, my friend. So with Erik Ten Hag is this is something that's been said all along about Ten Hag, and the fact that he's not somebody who wants to really be involved in contract negotiations in the inner workings of a football club from a day-to-day basis in terms of player control and XYZ. He simply wants to be in control of that football team. He wants to be on the training pitch 3 to 4 to 5 hours a day. He wants to be in his tracksuit. He wants to be drilling the system into the players. And it's the only way that you get a system like his to work truly properly. And we all know how long that took with Klopp at Liverpool. They went through that period of, a year and a bit, where they were working towards it. The fitness levels were increasing. Mate, United's fitness levels are so goddamn far off where they need to be for Erik Ten Hag. It's going to be a rocky road. We're going to have the preseason of all preseasons. In an ideal world, we wouldn't have a preseason tour because we just need these players working double sessions every day for 6 weeks. And then we might put ourselves in a decent enough position come the start of the season. It's going to be that's going to be tough for the players to adapt to, and good, absolutely good. FCA, you're saying if the board wants Darwin Núñez, but Ten Hag feels he doesn't fit his system, that we shouldn't sign him. It's time to start buying the right players. If you look at Darwin Núñez and you see how he plays, he absolutely would suit the Ten Hag system. He's quite an intense player. He does have a lot of energy. He's very good at pressing inside the final third. And he's a hell of a goal scorer as well. Rob, you're saying, Sam, who will be the first to be sold by Erik Ten Hag? It's a good question, Rob. And I'll be honest, I don't know off the top of my head, because the players I would get rid of are the players that are leaving without having to be sold. Your Cavani, your Lingard, and your Pogba. They're the 3 players who absolutely should not be part of Manchester United's plans going forward. And they won't be part of the plans. They're gone. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. In terms of the players being sold, I think Ten Hag will probably have his mind made up a little bit because there's going to be quite obvious ones. I don't know off the top of my head. I would say, no, I'm not going to say Maguire. Would I say Maguire? I don't know. There's so many. I've done my keep or sell. There's so many players who are on the edge, and there are so many players who are on that sell list that it's hard to see how. I don't know how he's going to prioritize that for this summer, because so much needs to happen that it's quite literally impossible for it all to happen in one season. This one summer will not solve Manchester United's squad. It's going to be done over a 2 to 3, probably 2 summers. I reckon 2 summers and 2 winters. There's enough time. There's 4 windows to rejuvenate this squad. I don't know how he prioritizes what needs to be done this summer. We know that we need one powerful central midfielder. I would argue 2 central midfielders, 1 striker, and then you talk about potentially a right winger or a centre back. They are the extra signings. But then at the same time, are these fullbacks going to be capable of playing his system? I don't know. Are the centre backs going to be capable of playing out from the back with the ball? Raphael Varane can, and we know that Harry Maguire can play that, but because his Ajax teams like playing a high line, we know that Harry Maguire's pace is going to be massively exposed. Vincent, you're saying the philosophy has to go the whole way through the club, under 18s and 23s and first team. And that's something that, again, is said about Erik Ten Hag and his management style. He's not going to be somebody that comes into Manchester United and simply focuses on that starting 11. He's going to be somebody who comes in and speaks to the full 28-man squad every single time, looking at each individual performance, individual plans, going down to the youth teams. Because he, as I said, because of the Ajax model, youth was so important. They never had the resources of compared to the likes of Bayern Munich and United and Juventus. They never had that. They had to build from within. And that's where Jurriën Timber came from. That's where Ryan Gravenberch came from. That's where Mazraoui came from. So many of that team right now under Erik Ten Hag are youth team players that he has coached into being senior top level players. He's got really good experience of that, and that's very exciting. I'm going to do a video that's coming up soon. As I said, there's so many talking points around Ten Hag. I can't get all the videos done at once, so I have to decide which is going to go out first. And I've got a video planned and lined up for the 5 youth team players that I think Erik Ten Hag is going to love, and the youth team players that I think could shine, really shine under Erik Ten Hag. That's going to be coming out at some point soon. Nick saying, although he is slow and has a turning circle of an 18-wheeler, Maguire can actually pass the ball. Who knows? Maybe Ten Hag can get the best out of him somehow. I think Manchester United, they won't be telling Erik Ten Hag to get the best out of him, but they'll be asking for Erik Ten Hag to get the best out of him. And speaking about how he's going to get the best out of this whole squad, this is what Henry Winter has been saying. The 3 criteria that shaped Manchester United's pursuit of a new manager were these 3 things. A record of winning. So he's on for his 3rd domestic double. Got to a Champions League semi. That's not winning, but that's success as far as Ajax is concerned. Giving youth an opportunity and playing attacking football. That's the sort of yeah, I know. That's the sort of easy things to say, but it's where Ten Hag ticks all the boxes. And as I said, his progression of youth, not only because, look, we can talk about youth at Manchester United. We can say, look how many debuts Louis van Gaal gave to the likes of Tyler Blackett, Donald Love, Paddy McNair. Oh my God, there were so many that he gave debuts to. And look, and where are they now? You can talk about the debuts that happened under Jose Mourinho, and I can't even remember any. I know there were some, though. Not off the top of my head. But there's a difference between giving youth players a debut and blooding a youth player into becoming a first-team star. Oh, yeah, Marcus Rashford. Was that Rashford? No, Rashford was Louis van Gaal. Rashford was Midtjylland, Europa League. Oh, Scott McTominay. There you go. There's a good one. But look, that's the point. At Manchester United, we've seen lots and lots of youth team players over the last 5-6 years that have been given debuts, that have come and sort of broken through, but have never really truly established themselves. Some of them have established themselves, whether you like that or not. Scott McTominay from Jose Mourinho, Marcus Rashford, he established himself under, was it Louis Van? I think it was Louis van Gaal. And there's been a couple since. I obviously won't mention Mason Greenwood, but that's, well, it's a crying shame. But what a fucking idiot. But look, when it comes to youth team, we're going to be speaking about that further down the line. There's more important conversations to have first. And the first conversation that we need to have now, that is about his assistant managers. Now, there's been a lot of names mentioned. We've talked about Mitchell van der Gaag, who's his assistant manager at Ajax. We've spoken about Steve McLaren, who obviously was the manager at FC Twente when Erik Ten Hag was the assistant, when they went on to win the title. Then you've got Robin van Persie, you've got Jaap Stam, you've got Ruud van Nistelrooy, you've got René Meulenstein. There are a lot of names being thrown around But there's one, in my opinion, there's one guarantee that's happening. And that's Mitchell van der Gaag. He is going to be coming in. We can see it in basically every single source, from the BBC to the Telegraph to the Times to everybody. They're all saying that Mitchell van der Gaag will be coming with Erik Ten Hag from Ajax. And that is the single most important thing that he can do. If we go down there and we look at his experience at the age of 50, you know, he's had plenty of experience himself. I think he played out in Portugal as a player, and then he went down there, was the Maritimo B team manager, went through into becoming their full team manager, and then managed Belenenses, I think, in Portugal as well. Then went to Cyprus, then went to the Eredivisie, managed Eindhoven, not PSV, FC Eindhoven, Excelsior, NAC Breda. Then he went into becoming Ajax's under-21 manager for 2 years before last summer he went and became Ajax's assistant manager. So Mitchell van der Gaag is a man who's not there just for the sake of it to make up the numbers. He's very much there as an experienced head who has experience at managing teams, at managing youth teams, at being assistant managers, and a playing career as well. 2 years younger than Erik Ten Hag. Clearly a very important person, I think, in terms of bringing what Erik Ten Hag, because what Erik Ten Hag is going to do at Manchester United is going to be a complete and utter culture shock for these players. We spoke about Ralf Rangnick and that gegenpressing system, and we saw it in the first game against Crystal Palace. I keep saying that, right? I keep saying that you talk about how Ralf Rangnick's got the worst winning percentage, blah, blah, blah. After one training session, you got the players playing properly, but they were too fucking unfit to keep playing like that. And the mentality was wrong. The fitness levels weren't there. That's why it didn't work. And then he's like, okay, well, it's not going to work. But because Rangnick was here on an interim basis, there was no point in him staying loyal to the 4-2-2 system and forcing the players to adapt and improve in it, because he's only here for 6 months. He's like, right, okay. He clearly realized, I'm sure in the goodness of time, this conversation will come out in the press. He was like, I realized that the players could not adapt to that system in time. So I had to switch and see what happens. Then we tried a 4-4-2. Then we tried a 4-2-3-1. And we settled on the 4-3-3, which worked. Probably gave us our best football under Ralf Rangnick. And I stand by it. Had those games against Middlesbrough, Burnley and Southampton gone differently, when we had like 72 shots in 3 games, when the players just could not finish their dinner, I guarantee this season would have gone a bit differently under Ralf Rangnick. But Mitchell van der Gaag, he will be coming to Manchester United. He will be the assistant manager. And that's why I'm not angry, annoyed. The conversations around Robin van Persie, the conversations around Jaap Stam, it's not really about bringing him in as the assistant manager that's going to be the first person he leans on. That's going to be Mitchell van der Gaag. That's who Erik Ten Hag is going to be leaning on, right? Someone like Robin van Persie is going to come in to help Erik Ten Hag with the Premier League, to help Erik Ten Hag with things that Mitchell van der Gaag can't help him with. Now, I don't know whether Van Persie is going to come in or not. We're hearing that there might be problems with Van Persie's work permit, because he hasn't worked long enough as an elite level coach to get exemption and a guaranteed work permit inside the UK. I think that's come post Brexit. Thank you very much, Brexit. So maybe he won't be able to come straight away. I don't know. And as I said, his son Shaquille plays for the Feyenoord under-16s, and he's currently the coach of that team. So for him to leave, he's either got to leave his son or bring his son with him. I don't know. You let me know in the comments here. Type your name in now, because there are plenty of names that have been banded around. We're talking about Jaap Stam. We're talking about Robin van Persie. You can talk about Roy Keane if you want. Which former United player do you think could really be a sort of a missing link that Erik Ten Hag could really do with? Robin van Persie and Jaap Stam obviously got the Dutch connection and the Premier League connection and the Manchester United connection. Tick, tick, tick. But whoever that is, as I said, Mitchell van der Gaag is going to be the man who comes in and is his actual assistant manager. Whoever comes in here is going to be like a first-team coach. I suppose the Chris Armas, if you want to call it that. Who do you think would be the right person? Now, there's a comment here from Trim. Trim, you're probably right. Ruud. There he is on the wall. Ruud van Nistelrooy is on the wall, but Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to be PSV's manager next year. May well be winning the title now that Erik Ten Hag is leaving Ajax. Paulie, you're saying René Meulenstein and Jaap Stam. Josh, you're saying Stam without a doubt. Tom, you're saying Gary Neville. I don't think Gary Neville will do that. Ryan, you're saying that Paul Scholes. Brian, I don't think Wayne Rooney. At this point in time, it's too early to have conversations about Wayne Rooney and Manchester United. That's my opinion. I just don't think that should be the case. Stefan, you think it should be Roy Keane. Liam, Daley Blind, I think he's still playing. Of course, he's still playing football. Evra coming into the club. Roy Keane, Stam, RVP, Jordi Cruyff. Look at that. What is Jordi Cruyff doing? Is he still at Barcelona? He was at Barcelona for a time, wasn't he? I think he was anyway. Edwin van der Sar, Beckham. Well, Beckham owns a football club out in Miami, so I don't think he'll be coming here. Rene all day. Rene's an elite level coach. Van Persie. Loads and loads of comments in here. I like asking these questions. But yeah, this one is this one's the question. It strikes me that Van Persie seems the most likely at this point in time. Not to say that it's going to be done. This is the one that I think that kind of might take us by surprise a little bit. Jaap Stam is basically put himself out there. He's saying, I will come back to Manchester United in any role as long as it suits me. As long as it's a role that I think will help my career, then I will come to Manchester United and I would love to help the club. He doesn't have any ill will after what happened between Fergie and him when he sold him. I think it was sold into Lazio when he was legitimately like the best centre-back in the world. Still hurts me there. Roy Keane is a name that a lot of you are saying. Now, remember, Roy Keane, he still hasn't forgiven Fergie. And I don't personally think that Roy Keane will be coming back to Manchester United. I just don't see it happening. He's a man driven by his principles. Those principles drove him out of Manchester United. And I just, in my opinion, whilst Fergie's still in there in the stands, I just don't think that will happen. Some of you are saying Cantona down there in the comments, but I don't know whether you're joking me or not. I don't know. Hey, look, before we quickly move on and we continue this conversation, would you please, if you would, drop a like on the video? It does help United People's TV. We've got some exciting times coming up, man. Erik Ten Hag as manager. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, drop a like on the video and subscribe to United People's TV if you're new. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider becoming a member. There's a link on YouTube just in the description. Also, if you look, there's a pinned comment. There's a link to the description there. Into the description, link to become a member there. And on Facebook, there's also a link in the description of the video. Mike Phelan, someone's saying down there in the comments, buy Jude Bellingham and make him captain. I don't think when it comes to signings, as I said, there's so many talking points that we've got to discuss around Erik Ten Hag and what comes next. But signings, a little bit further down the line, we need to talk about the actual bigger issues at our club right now before we talk about bringing new players in. Rob Vella saying, who's been your favourite Dutch player for United? Remember last time when I was trying to remember the Dutch players off the top of my head and I completely ballsed it all up. But that's an easy answer. I've been privileged to watch so many great strikers at Manchester United. Ruud van Nistelrooy, Wayne Rooney, Eric Cantona, Cristiano Ronaldo. Hell, Luis Saha was great as well. Dimitar Berbatov, Javier Hernandez. Geez, so many. But that man still remains probably the most clinical finisher I think we've ever had. Either him or Robin van Persie, but we only saw one season of Robin van Persie. I saw for 3 seasons, he was absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's either Ruud van Nistelrooy or it's Jaap Stam, but Van Nistelrooy was, in my opinion, was just on a different level altogether. Look at that. I've called my son Rudy. It's a great choice. Absolutely great choice. Look, for anybody who's just joining in, welcome to United People's TV. Lovely to see you here this morning. We're all here talking about the exciting news that broke last night. The Man United have agreed that deal with Erik Ten Hag, a 3-year contract with an option to extend for 1 more year. Fabrizio Romano here saying that Manchester United are working on getting that agreement done and the appointment done as soon as possible. Man United want to announce it as soon as possible. We all know that the Ajax are in the Dutch Cup final against PSV on Sunday. So it's unlikely to happen before that. In my opinion, I don't think Manchester United would try it. If they lose the final, it will be the wrong time to announce that the manager's leaving. If they win the final and they're excited, then it would be the wrong time to announce it that day. I would imagine it would happen on the Monday, the day after. Let Ajax enjoy those celebrations or wallow in their own self-pity. It wouldn't be right for Manchester United to announce that and Ajax to announce that on Sunday night. So I imagine next Monday So Monday, not next Monday. You know what I mean? Arnold Muren. Oh, now you're going back, Dave. Jeez. Was he in the 80s? I think he was in the 80s. Arnold, was he 70s? Arnold Muren. I mean, United have had to, you can go back to Jordi Cruyff if you really want to. Where was he? He was at United 82 to 85. There you go. Look at that. I do know some of my history. 18th of April, Trim saying down there. Hey, look, man. I've just got a big smile on my face. I feel like a great sense of relief, I suppose. A real great sense of relief that this man's going to be our next manager. Because I genuinely did fear that, not in a horror. Look, I've spoken about Pochettino so much on this channel. We've all spoken about Pochettino. Had we got Poch in 2016, I think it would have been an incredible appointment. Had we got Poch in 2019 when we sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I still think it would have been an incredible appointment. Both of those situations, I think Pochettino to United would really have made sense. But this summer, it really would not have made sense if we had gone after Pochettino and ignored Ten Hag. Ignored this man who's right there, who's, yeah, as I said, for a long time, I've wanted a coach to Manchester United, and I've said this before, and some of you have disagreed in the comments, and quite a few have agreed with me. We haven't signed a manager post-Fergie that any club has been jealous of, that any club has truly been scared of. Mourinho is the only example where our clubs may have looked at us and gone, if it works out, big if, but if it works out with Mourinho, then we might have to be a little bit worried about Manchester United. But history told those people, were like, it's probably not going to work out with Mourinho. It's probably going to be 2 years and then it's going to start to fall apart. And it is exactly what happened. So easy to predict exactly what happened with Mourinho. Ten Hag is different, man. Ten Hag is a different appointment to any appointment we've made post-Fergie. And that's why I'm so excited, man. I'm really excited about what comes next. Chris is saying, great news. I can't wait for the season to start. A new start. It does feel like a new start. It feels like the closing of one chapter and the opening of another. It's a shame that it is a real shame that the end of this season is just an inconvenience. We're not we're not getting in the top 4. We're not in the Champions League. We're battling to finish between 5th and 8th. It's like we're chasing a playoff spot in the Championship. The seasons are dud. Seasons are dead. And I tell you what, you know what's even worse? We got to play Liverpool away on Tuesday. Imagine how much that's going to sneak up on people. We're playing Liverpool away. We're going to Anfield when they are on a title charge. Fuck me. Anfield is bad at the worst of times. Bad at the best of times, sorry. Let alone going there when our players are down tools effectively and gone, well, the season's done. And you're going there and Liverpool need to win every game to have any chance of winning the title. My God. We're going to be like 2-0 down in the first 20 minutes there. Jeez. Ray, how you doing there, buddy? You're saying, I think United are getting it right for a change. It's too early to judge, but it feels a little different behind the scenes. We cannot mess this up. I know, well, we can mess this up, Ray. We absolutely can mess this up. But I don't think we have. I think we've got the right man. We've made the right choice because it would have been very easy for Manchester United to go Pochettino. PSG would have allowed the conversations to happen. Poch would have said yes. Easy peasy. But United have taken it's probably considered a risk. And finally, we've taken the right risk. And with the right risks come the greatest rewards. And that's what I feel that United have done here with Erik Ten Hag. And that's why I'm so optimistic now about the future. I'd be a lot more optimistic if the Glazers didn't own our club. But the fact that Erik Ten Hag's appointment means that we're chipping away at that power structure, that grip, that totalitarian grip that the Glazers have had on United and every decision that we've made post-Fergie. This is the biggest anti-Glazer thing that's happened thus far in terms of real structural change. I'm not here undermining the protests after the European Super League, undermining the protests in 2010, or undermining the protests that happened even before they took over. But this here is real change in the footballing side of our football club. That's why I'm excited. Let me go down here, read a few more of your comments. We can win that game, says Klein. I mean, I suppose technically we can win it. But the way we're playing at the moment, do you not see how we played against Everton? You don't see how we played against Leicester? The players, oh my God, I'm terrified about that game. Absolutely terrified about that game. And I've just completely, I don't know, I'd rather not watch it. I will. Thomas, Sam, the way you talk about Ten Hag, I really hope he will be like Sir Alex watching from Sierra Leone. Nobody is going to be like Sir Alex. Erik Ten Hag will not be like Sir Alex. Erik Ten Hag will be like Erik Ten Hag. He's going to be the first and only version of himself. He'll set his own path and he'll leave his own legacy. And I hope he does leave a legacy at Manchester United. Let's go down here and see what else you're saying in the comments. Chris, look on the bright side, Sam. We can't play any worse than we are playing now. Who knows? The players will realise Ten Hag's coming in. They're playing for their futures. I hope so. And that's what I said. I hope that Ralph Rangnick can go inside that dressing room and say, look, you know about Erik Ten Hag now. If you want to play for this club next year, because I will still have a say, as I said, Ralph Rangnick should be the first person that Erik Ten Hag sits down with and has an hour conversation. When he becomes Manchester United manager, who is the person that will know that squad the best? Who is the person that can truthfully, honestly, and objectively tell Erik Ten Hag, these players will fit the side of football that we want to build going forward, and these players won't? Of course, it's going to be Ralph Rangnick. So the players should know that. And I hope Ralph can push that agenda, saying, look, I'm going to speak honestly. If you want a future at Manchester United past this season, I suggest you start playing fucking football. I suggest you actually start giving a shit. Because if you don't, I will be grassing on you to Erik Ten Hag. It's effectively what he's going to say. Yes, he has to be a grass. Jay, Poch wouldn't have worked because of Woodward, but now we are laying the groundwork for real change. And man, like a few years ago, man, where we were to where we are now, Ed Woodward's gone. Richard Arnold has promised delegation. And since he's promised delegation, we brought in Ralph Rangnick and we've brought in Erik Ten Hag. Two real footballing decisions made seemingly with the football club in mind. Hold your hands up here. It looks like change might be starting. I'm not saying that this is the be-all and end-all because we're far, far away from it being the be-all and end-all. But it's something to be positive about, which is something we've needed for a long, long time. In my opinion, anyway. You'll see what you think about that in the comments. I'll read a few more of your comments out now before we quickly wrap up today. And as I said, anybody who's just joining in, let me give you one quick 1-minute roundup. Fabrizio Romano here saying that Manchester United are working to get that announcement done as soon as possible. His words there, as soon as possible. We went over here and we read through the latest from Jason Burt in the Telegraph, and he's saying that he has agreed a 3-year contract to become Manchester United's new manager, which is exactly what Simon Stone from the BBC has said as well. And Manchester United are on the brink of announcing him. We went over here, we looked at what they're saying out in Holland, and they're not wrong to call Manchester United a toxic atmosphere, and it's tough. It's going to be a tough job for Erik Ten Hag. But as I told you, risk-reward. Certain risks give the greatest rewards. And if a man of Ten Hag's ambition, if he can come in and really bring true change at Manchester United, he will leave an incredible legacy behind. We spoke about Mitchell van der Gaag. In my opinion, it's very important that he comes in. And it's why we can have conversations about Robin van Persie and Jaap Stam and why it's not really an outrageous thing. It's not about the best in class in that sense. The best in class, as far as we're concerned with Erik Ten Hag, is his current assistant manager. There's going to be nobody who knows Ten Hag and his football system better than Mitchell van der Gaag. So he is best in class in context. And it means we can have conversations about Van Persie and about Stan without it being outrageous. Stefan, you're saying you're really looking forward to next season. Any chance of Erik linking up with De Ligt? I don't think so anyway. That's my personal opinion. It's exciting, man. Ray, what you're saying? You're saying, I think moving on is the biggest thing for us because Arnold wants to give us the football business to football people. It is a big, big thing, Ray. And I think you're spot on there. And as I said, there's genuine reason for United fans to be optimistic about what's coming next. I'm not here saying that in 3 years' time we're going to be lifting the Premier League title. But I am here saying that we're going to be in a far better position in 3 years if Ten Hag is given what he has asked for. And he wouldn't have signed that contract if he didn't think he was going to get it. That's what I think anyway. But look, I'll wrap this one up for today and I'll get working on the video that's going out at lunchtime. I think I'm either going to do it on the 5 things that Ten Hag's got to sort straight away, or I'm going to do one on who his assistant manager should be. A bit, maybe, I don't know. I'll decide later. Fizz, you're saying hopefully this will be the start of a proper rebuild. I hope you're right as well, my friend. Thank you very much for joining in this morning. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you would consider dropping a like on the video just before you leave. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe to United People's TV, because I'm here live Monday to Friday at 9:30 a.m. UK time. And I'm also putting loads of other content out. And there's going to be a lot more Ten Hag content here on United People's TV. Thanks for joining in. Have a great day.